is my season.
Hello, my name is Ayla Garcia. I'm the CEO of Futures Treasures.
I'm Miss LaForest Johnson, Business Management Consultant of Futures Treasures.
Hi, I'm Mary Richardson, and I am the Office Manager of Futures Treasures.
And today we are initiating our first podcast with Futures Treasures and the ladies of Futures Treasures. So I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. Richardson. They'll be asked some questions.
Well, Miss Garcia, tell me all about your vision and your mission of Futures Treasures.
Well, Futures Treasures was a vision that was given to me when I was 13 years old. God saw fit to give me this vision. He gave me the name Futures Treasures. When I turned 31, the vision came to light, and he showed me that the treasures are his people, the children, the adults, the disabled, those who are having mental health issues, overall everyone. And the vision came to me when I was a child. So now we are operating, and I give it all back to God.
One thing you always say is that they are the treasures of the future.
Yes.
And that's what we have seen here at Futures Treasures. All our clients that come in, they truly are precious, precious, precious to us.
They are. I have a passion for helping people, especially those who don't have a voice. Mm-hmm. I like to say that my team is the voice for the people, especially those who are nonverbal or who may have like autism or different diagnoses, who cannot speak for themselves, or they are speaking for themselves but no one is listening. So I would say that Futures Treasures, we're that voice, we're the ears, and the eyes in some cases for our clients.
Yes.
Ms. Garcia,
Yes, ma'am.
here at Futures Treasure, I know you always talk about us in the community and so forth with our clients. Speak on that.
So when we say in the community, we have different organizations or different facilities. In the community could be community engagement. We can have outpatient. We don't do inpatient, but we do outpatient services. We have both mental health and developmental disabilities that we serve. So if we say in the field, that means our DSPs or our QMHPs are in the field helping our clients.
Okay. So tell me, what motivated you to get started in this sector, this industry?
Well, I had no idea that this would be where I would be today. I did not start here. It has been a journey. I would say that after having multiple jobs and I did not love what I was doing, I began to ask God to put me in a position or a place that to do what I love. And the type of work that we do here is forever changing. So I'm one to get bored quickly. So I like to be able to change up the dynamics of where we're going. With this industry, the laws are changing, policies are changing, the clients are changing, the people are changing. So there's always something new, and it's never boring. And I love being able to help those that need help.
Very good. So, how did you start with Futures Treasures? Did you start with the different services, or how did you actually get started?
So initially, someone asked me before Futures Treasures. I had the name, I was a program director for a company, and someone approached me and asked me if I knew how to write policies and procedures. And at the time, I did not, but I did say yes, because I feel like I knew that I could find out. I just had to research. So I said yes. I went through ups, downs. Some people say revisions, before I actually got it approved, and it did get approved. And then people kept coming to me. They just kept coming asking questions about healthcare, and I would know these things because I went into the field in my 20s. So I'm probably about 15 years or so in this industry. I started off as a DSP, which is a direct support professional. And I learned the inside. I worked with the clients. I did documentation. I fed. I cooked. I cleaned. You name it, I did it. And I'm one, like I said, I like to learn. So when I saw these books that they had, I would read them. And I became more and more hungry. Like, okay, I'm looking at the numbers. Like, if I'm doing this, then how does it work from the top? So I started researching and started learning more. And I was like, okay, so if they can do it, I think I could do this. Oftentimes, a lot of the people that I would ask, like, how did you do it? Their answer would be, it's hard. But that wasn't telling me how.
Right.
And oftentimes, like within this field, and even I could say with some of our people, it's a competition. And for me, I didn't think of it as a competition. I want to learn. So I didn't know I would be doing this. I just wanted to know, how did you get to where you are? And even though they told me it was hard, I'm like, that's not answering my question. So over the time, I had moved from, the group home, was offered a position at the day support. Day support is it's almost like a daycare, but it's for adults. And the manager gave me their policies and procedure. So I had something that I could read. And it just started clicking, and I was able to put a lot of the pieces together, which I then developed my own for Futures Treasures. However, I did get pregnant, and I did not submit it in time, so my application was kicked out. It came back again a couple years later, and I resubmitted it. And it did get approved. So I would say it was challenging, but overall, it was a process, and I was able to overcome the many obstacles
that you faced.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a copy of your policy and procedure?
I do actually. So Policies and Procedure Manual, right here. This is the original. This was done in 2020. We are in the process of updating because we are now in 2025. That Policies and Procedure is for crisis stabilization. That is a service for mental health. We also do policies and procedures for many Medicaid entities, not just crisis, not just mental health. We do everything behavioral health. And those are some things that we do here at Futures Treasures. We build and help people who don't know how to do it. Because the whole, it's hard. It is hard, but you have someone who has done that work for you to make the process easier.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. So overall, Ms. Garcia, how would you say Futures Treasures stands out compared to other mental health services that's out there?
I would say, for one, I always say I'm faith-based, or we're faith-based. When I say that we believe in God, we do work according to how Christ would do in life. We are examples of him. We're not perfect. I know there's, could be a stereotypic or, against Christians, but we do things as Christ would do. I would say that a lot of our providers who come to us, we don't have anyone who has, complaints, and we get the job done. Oftentimes they will start coming to us when they're in trouble. So a lot of our clients, they may be missing income, something's wrong, and they're looking for us to fix it. I've had many, many testimonies where we have been able to gather hundreds of thousands of dollars back for companies because, simple mistake was made that they were unaware of because they missed a process or they missed a step. So,
very good.
yes.
So it's almost like you Futures Treasures and your business. It's almost as if a person would come in and you would kind of talk to them about what their plans are, and then it's almost like you will walk them through or hold their hands to get to their goals or to what they would want to see their own business done.
I would say yes. Some people also say like we're the bridge that connects their vision or their dream to what they want to end up doing. So like we are like the helping hand as well. Because that's typically why they come, because they're looking for help. And I would say I like to help. I like those who want to learn. I'm really big on teaching. Oftentimes we also have clients who they don't want to learn. They just want us to do it for them. So, and that's also okay in a sense, but I still feel like when you are a business owner, a CEO, or a director, or whatever your title is, you should know how to run your business. You can hire someone else to come in and do that, but you still should know in case of an emergency that you have to do it.
Very good. So what is the typical process to help a client who comes in and wants to start a new healthcare entity?
So your process would be, we would do an initial consultation. Right now, our initial consultation, we are doing a special where the first 30 minutes is $100. If you want to continue to the hour, it will be another $100. For the first hour, it'll be $200. Anything after that, it'll be $275 an hour. If you choose to sign with us and you like what we offer, we can discuss those prices. We have a promotion going right now as well, where our policies, procedures, which I showed you before, and then we also have our client book and our contractor book as well. That is a package deal, and the client and the staff books, they are samples that helps your business. They're like your operational forms. So that special is going for $7,500. We do offer payment arrangements, and we do help. So we want to tell you that that price, we're able to help you with a payment option, so that your business can flourish and you have the proper policies and procedures that you would need for your business. We like to say it's an investment for what you could potentially be making in this field.
Right. And one thing I would say, and we always discuss and have agreed upon from the beginning, is Futures Treasures is always about the clients.
Yes.
It's not about the money.
Correct.
And unfortunately, a lot of times that the clients that have come through the door who have been in distress that we come to help, they come here and we help them, is because that's what they have experienced.
Yes.
And so when we say we do things by Christ-like, it is kingdom.
Yes.
And one thing about Christ, he always put people first.
Yes.
And so that's one thing we do work very hard to maintain here, is putting people first. As Ms. Garcia said, no one is perfect. It's not a perfect business, but we do strive. And we are always striving to do better. We have an open door policy here where the clients come in, we tell everybody, if you have any issues, you have any problems, come and talk to us. We treat people the way we want to be treated, and that's what we strive to do. Do we always hit the mark? Maybe not all the time, but we always invite our clients to come in and talk to us. Because the end goal is, one, for them to get their business up and running and be successful,
Yes.
and two, to make sure they are taking care of their clients. We can only control what's on our side.
Right.
What clients do after they leave the door is on them, but it's not. No one can ever come in these doors and say that this is not what we have given them.
Right.
And
That
that's
is true.
And I would like to add to that one thing about Futures Treasure. They truly do follow the guidelines of the rules and regulations of the state of Virginia.
Yes.
And as Ms. Johnson stated too, it is an open door policy, and that's one thing that we do often say. Communication, communication,
Yes.
communication.
Yes. I wanna piggyback off of the state of Virginia. So the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services, also known as DBHDS, though they set out the rules for any and every Medicaid entity that is established. And you have to follow those rules in order to have a successful business. Oftentimes you would find people who try to skip over the requirements, and then they are faced with a correction or corrective action plan, and which is a cap. That cap is a warning. Like, you have to tell us what you're going to do to fix what we found, or the errors that, because you did not follow the initial rules. Since we've opened and been licensed, we have not had any caps until recently, when the rules have changed for our mobile crisis response. The rules were implemented on October 17th of 2024, and our license specialist came out. We did receive one citation, but that's still, I would say, I beat myself up on that a lot, because I like to strive for perfection, and since we've been open, we did not face any citations, and we have 5 licenses so far. So one of the entities was cited, but everything else was not. And our goal is to continue when licensure comes out. Licensure is someone who works at DBHDS, and they come out to do your audits. So when they come out, we want to make sure that, we're reading the rules just like you are, and we're compliant. We want to make sure our providers or our clients are also compliant. But as Ms. Johnson said, once they leave here, they can do whatever they want to do. It's not based on what we would do. We tell you follow the rules, but oftentimes you find those ones that want to go and follow their own rules, and it doesn't work out well at the end of the day.
So what would you say to a client who's interested in opening up a healthcare entity? What are some of the advice that you would give them for the startup?
So, number one advice is always write out your plan. I would say you want to brain dump your ideas. 2, you want to make sure your money, finances, you need at least 90 days of reserve. That reserve would be, you can take where you live, multiply that by 3, and that could be your potential reserve. When I say where you live, like your mortgage or your rent, all expenses. How much are you spending in 30 days? And then multiply that by 3, and you should have that. That is a requirement when you are trying to become licensed. 90-day reserve. 3, don't hire family. I'm sorry to say that, but sometimes starting out, your family gonna have everything to say. They're gonna say things that you may not agree with. If you have the vision, you start the plan, the people will come. Auntie, uncle, mama, daddy, and them. You the one with the money. So I would say, now some organizations, they are thriving with family, but oftentimes it does not end well. I would say number 4 would be always trust your instincts. You know, with starting a business, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, but you know what you want to do, and have someone that can help you during this process, like Futures Treasures. Also, take your time. This process can be stressful, but if you take your time, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is an investment, and if you know about investments, it takes time before you see a return. We typically tell our providers or our clients, give yourself at least 12 months to 24 months to have everything established, because you have a process. Getting licensed is one thing, but then you have other steps outside of just being licensed. And oftentimes you think, well, I got my license. That's just the first part. There are many parts at becoming a provider for clients who needs help. And there are many services. But that, I would say that would be very crucial, is take your time. Try to listen. Don't go in knowing. If you know, act like you don't know, because there is something that you can learn. And you can be taught, be teachable, because if you're not, then you may come up, against some challenges and some roadblocks.
Very good.
Well, Ms. Garcia, tell us a success story. I know that there are many success stories here at Futures Treasure, but give us a success story.
Well, I could tell you about Futures Treasures. So, in pertaining to a success story, I would say we are a success story. We started off as helping others build their business. So, I just like, well, maybe I could do this for me. And I submitted my policies, got them approved, and I think I submitted it in 2020 and got licensed in 2021. We got clients. We were doing things. Had a whole lot of mistakes. By God's grace, He was able to slow me down and, pick back up the way that unique order should be. Now, like I said, we have not had any violations, any citations, which is fortunate. I'm very glad about that. And we started off with nothing, and now we're here. So I would say climbing my way up from a DSP to now CEO of Futures Treasures is a success story.
Very good, very good. Well, how would you just use one of your clients, say that's in the field or work that's with our DSPs or community engagement, what a success story we would have for one of them in that area?
So one of our clients, I would say, they started with us last year. They wanted to, their main goal was working. They really wanted a job, and it took some time, but this person is working now, and she is so excited. They are really happy that, you know, she got this job. It's wherever she wanted to be. And through the process, so with resumes and building the resumes, our DSPs help with job placements, volunteer work. So she came back. She couldn't wait to come and tell me that she had a job, and I screamed with her, you know, saying, "Let me hold something." She's like what? But yeah, she's so happy, and that is a success story. We have a success story with another client who was smoking, well, she shouldn't have been, and she came back and she's like, "I don't smoke no more. I've been healed. So she's not smoking anymore, which is wonderful. We have many stories. We have another client who started with us. They were kind of standoffish, now talking and vocal and asking questions and what y'all doing, where you at. So it's many, especially with our community engagement. And community engagement is for our DD clients, so that's developmental disabilities. And we take them out. So oftentimes when you think of community engagement, a lot of providers, they, you know, may go to Walmart or Dollar Tree. But we do things a little bit different here. We're doing museums and carnivals, art shows, festivals. We're traveling. We're going to different states and DC and Virginia Beach, and we have parties, activities. We celebrate birthdays, the different holidays during the months. So and then we take in what's person-centered for our clients. So they're always engaging in something. We'll still go to Walmart, but that's just maybe because we're picking up supplies for our activity that we're doing. But they love being in the field. Our community engagement is Monday through Sunday from 8 to 4 or 9 to 5. But you do have to have a waiver in order to participate in community engagement.
Very good. So tell us a success story with another healthcare entity, whether it's a group home or what have you.
So I won't disclose any names, but we do have a provider who came. They needed help with client placement. They needed help with Medicaid. And we started from the beginning. So we did get their Medicaid straight. We did get them service to client placements. We taught them how to bill. That's a part of Medicaid as well. And they started making income. They started getting, you know, what they have been waiting for so long. And our client now, they have a full house. They're billing. They made all of their investment back from when they initially started with us. And right now they just only call us when they need us. So that's typically how we want things. We want you all to be free. Let go of my hand. And they have, and they're flourishing. They're doing amazing. And yeah, so that's a group home that we have helped. We've also helped mental health agencies. Yes, agencies, more than one. And they've come to, if they want to get credentialed. Credentialed is where you are trying to get credentialed with insurance. And that process, I would say, that is probably the hardest. Because that is more time. Credentialing takes about 6 months. So I say between 90 and 180 days. But in fact, it has taken some people longer. Credentialing, you have to go through many channels to be credentialed. But we also help with that. But I would say when it comes to that, patience with credentialing. You'll have everything else in place, especially if you're trying to do mental health. You're going to have to wait when it comes to the insurance.
So they must be prepared.
You have to be prepared. That savings is
That
critical. That financial piece
Mm-hmm.
is critical. That time frame, you have to wait. Now, if you got favor like Futures Treasures, that time frame could potentially speed up. With favor, all things, with God, with Christ, all things are possible. So, I would just still say that that's the most time consuming would be credentialing.
And one thing I would add in this process is you have to have business acumen. It's not just about running a group home, a day support, crisis stabilization, or whatever services you're rendering. You have to have business acumen
You do.
to be successful, because resources and tools can be there, but if you don't have the knowledge and the know-how, it's going to frustrate your process, and it's going to be the difference of your doors remaining open and them closing.
Yes.
Another part of this component, I would say, is having the right people in the right places.
Yes.
As Ms. Garcia alluded to earlier about family, it's family, friends, it can be anyone.
Yes.
We have had a client that came in and it was family, and we've seen what that looks like. We've seen them when they have had friends that was in the same industry but would not help them.
Right.
And so you have to have toughness mentally
Yes.
and emotionally, and you have to have a constitution that, regardless to whether somebody's with you or not, ride or die, I'm moving forward. But you have to have the patience to get the right people in the right places. Otherwise, you can derail your business before it even begins.
Yes.
And so, Futures Treasure, I'm just going to say a little blurb from since I've been here with Futures Treasures. Seeing us grow from beginning to where we are has been a delight. It's been a process, but God is faithful. One thing I say that sets us apart, I can't speak to nobody else's business, but we pray every week
Yes.
for the business, for ourselves, for our providers, for our clients. And we have watched God do some miraculous things. We take no credit. We take none. We couldn't do this without Him. But that has been the difference maker. I've worked for various companies, but I've never worked for a company. When I came in the door and I was told, this is a faith-based company, I do believe in Jesus, and we pray.
Yes.
And I've prayed ever since I've been here.
Yes.
And we see the fruit of the labor. And so I am grateful to be a part of Futures Treasures. I'm grateful for Ms. Garcia and watching her business and her vision come to pass. And there's yet more to come.
Thank you. I do
Well,
appreciate
I would like to
that.
piggyback on that, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Garcia. It does matter, your staff,
It does.
because Ms. Garcia truly cares about her clients. And the people, her staff, they care about the client as well. And Ms. Garcia always said, family first.
Yes. That's right. That is true. I would say I love what I do. So if anything, you have to love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, you need to do what you love. And I think that was what started this journey. I went from so many jobs. I've worked in retail. I've worked in customer service. I did a gas station. I did all kinds of stuff. But it's like when I was introduced to this demographic of people, it's like my heart grew even bigger, because there are people out here who cannot speak. But me and my mouth, I'm going to talk, I'm going to say something, I'm going to do something. And even though they may not be verbal, they could communicate. And that took me to a whole nother level, to see when they're clapping, stomping, making noise. And then they understood me. I would say to them, hey, how you doing? And they would give me a noise, give me a clap, try to come hug me, touch me. I was, oh, you know what I'm saying? Yes, they do know what you're saying. And I said, okay, God, I see what you're doing. So from the developmental side, I'm also a qualified mental professional. So I'm a QMHP, which, is the mental health side of things. And then learning that demographic of people, you have people who are dealing or suffering from bipolar, schizophrenic, schizoaffective, depression, clinical depression, substance abuse. And that took me deeper on the clinical side as well as the spiritual side, of things, because oftentimes, people don't correlate, clinical and spiritual. But as you know, we're faith-based, so God was showing me things that someone else may not see. And oftentimes it's trauma. A lot of the use or behind the use of mental health is childhood trauma that they are still dealing with today. So, it goes, even deeper than that, but oftentimes it just results back to being traumatized. And when you start listening to people and, stop trying to tell them what to do, but just listen to them. That's all they want. And that even opened me up more, because, and that even made me stronger, because at one point I would be crying often listening to some of these stories. But it just made me even stronger, because I could give them encouragement. I can give them the word. I can tell them, hey, this may not be what you believe, but this is what helped me. And I can give you what helped me. I'm not trying to change your beliefs or have you believe what I believe. I'm just going to tell you what helped me. And all of my clients that I had when I was in the field, they would, oh my God, I never had a worker like you. You the best, Miss Garcia. Why more people can't be like you? Because they just can't be me. And I just did what God told me to do. And he would just tell me, just love his people. Love them, encourage them, feed them. Whatever they needed, if I could be that helping hand, I would just do it. I've always been one to give. So I just took care of his people. And from there, he had me learn both sides. So, and they still all need help, and they still all need love.
Which is universal.
It is.
Regards to who you are, what you believe, everybody needs love.
Everybody
well,
needs
Ms.
love.
Garcia, this has been a wonderful time with you.
Yes.
Overall, as we're getting ready to wrap this up, what is your long-term goal for Futures Treasures?
The long-term goal for Futures Treasures is I will want everyone who works for me or with me to own their own business. It doesn't have to be healthcare. I'm always an advocate for having your own. I will want all of our clients that we serve to grow. I would not want them to come in the same way if they choose to leave. I do want to impact people's lives, not just with what I can do, but what God has told me to do. I feel like I can do this without being compensated because it's my passion. Mm-hmm. So seeing my clients grow, my staff grow, and then eventually Futures Treasures growing. Mm-hmm. I would like to offer, eventually have, real affordable housing, somewhere for the homeless to call shelter, food, having a place that you can come and eat, not just physically but spiritually as well, if that's what you want. Eventually substance abuse. Everything we do and when we grow, it will be centered around Christ, because I believe that that's what saved me, and I would like to be able to give who has saved me to someone else. So, and that's if they want to try. I'm not here to force anybody. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. You can keep going. That's just why I'm here, to be able to give and build and help others build. Women, children, men, population, DD, mental health, you name it. As long as God say yes, then I'll be there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, until our next time.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for participating today on the first podcast. Thank you, Ms. Richardson, for your participation today on Futures Treasures podcast. And thank you all for watching our first podcast. It's Futures Treasures with Miss Garcia and the ladies.
And the vision is...
A vision unwritten is unseen. And always remember that you need the keys to unlock the treasure here at Futures Treasures.